Hello everyone, I invite you to the Friday cryptocurrency review. Let's start by checking the current situation on the BTC pair to USDT, taking into account the 4-hour interval. First, we will use the yellow line to mark the local uptrend line from which the price went down. Now we can move on to marking the support, and here in the first place it is worth marking the support zone from $21,239 to $20,421, but when we fall below this zone, we can see a drop even around $18,041. Looking the other way, in a similar way using the fib retracement tool, we can determine the places of resistance. And here we have the first resistance at the price of $22,158. When it manages to break it, the price will have to break through the strong zone from $22,581 to $23,662. Once this zone is broken, the price will move towards its latest high at $24,261. It is worth paying attention to the EMA cross 10 and 30. We see the place where we started the downward trend. Despite trying to return, we failed to change this trend. Please note the CHOP index, which indicates that the energy has been used up and is slowly starting to rise. The MACD indicator indicates a downtrend, while the RSI indicator is moving at the lower end of the range. As the second chart in today's review, we'll be looking at ETH versus USDT on a single-day time frame. First, we will use the yellow line to mark the uptrend line on which the price is currently based. Now let's move on to marking the places of support. We will use the fib retracement tool to mark the supports, and as you can see we have the first support at $1,514, the second support at $1,448, the third at $1,388, and then we can mark the strong support zone from $1,298 to $1,182. Looking the other way, we can also mark the places where the price should encounter resistance on the way to increases. And here in the first place we can mark a strong resistance zone from $1,589 to $1,672. Only when it is broken we will go towards the last high at $1,715 and then $1,846. The CHOP index indicates that despite the current decline, we still have a lot of energy. The MACD indicator is in a downtrend. On the other hand, we see a further rebound on the RSI, but there is room for a larger correction. As the third one, we will check the BNB chart as before, taking into account the one-day interval. As we can see, despite the correction, the price is still moving in the uptrend channel. Let's start by marking the support spots for the price, and we see that we first have a support zone from $310 to $293. However, if the price goes lower, we have another support at $279. Then a second support zone from $265 to $245. Looking the other way, we can similarly determine the places of resistance that the price has to face. And here we see that the price failed to break the resistance at $331. We continue to have strong resistance at $361. Once the price breaks it, it will move towards resistance at $398. The CHOP index indicates that we have a lot of energy. The MACD indicates the entry into a downward trend, while the RSI can see a strong rebound. The last one in today's chart is the DOT chart in pair to USDT on a one-day interval. As we can see, the price is currently based on the downtrend line. Going further, we can move on to marking support areas in a situation where the current correction is deepened. And here, the first support is at $6.02. Then we have the support zone from $5.68 to $5.33. The next support is at $4.84. And then at $4.21, where the last low is. Looking the other way, we see that the price must first overcome the strong resistance from $6.96 to $7.59, which has not been broken so far. Only when the price breaks through this zone will it be able to move towards $8.49 and then $9.66. Please look at the CHOP index, which despite the correction indicates that there is a lot of energy. The MACD indicates a downward trend, while the RSI shows a further rebound, but there is still room for a larger price drop. Technical analysis is provided by a third party, and for informational purposes only. It does not reflect the views of CryptoDaily, nor is it intended to be used as legal, tax, investment, or financial advice.